This is the painting that I was working on when you were here last time, and these are the proofs. They arrived yesterday afternoon, and what normally comes is the painting is scanned and they print it on different canvases with different varnishes, and then of course the color corrections.
Okay,
so,
looking great.
This is a good example of the color without the varnish was absolutely perfect. But the new varnish adds about 3 or 4% yellow tone over the top. We didn't know that until the varnish was finally on the surface, and now of course it's a bit too yellow. So we're going to have to go back and reduce the yellow a little bit, so when it's varnished the color is perfect.
I see.
This is a new type of canvas. It's much smoother. It's for really oversized prints.
This is canvas.
This is canvas, yeah.
Right.
Here it looks very smooth, almost like paper. On the back side, of course, you can see that it is a canvas. This one underneath, the texture is much stronger, much more like a normal canvas. And then the two little ones over here are two different, this one and this one are two different more canvases to choose from. So in the end, to try to get the quality of the image as perfect as possible, it means looking through different canvases, different varnishes. Many people like a high gloss varnish. Other people like a matte varnish or a satin varnish. So we have to choose the varnish that's the best for the image. When I'm doing an exhibition, and I think a lot of artists are the same, is that literally you want to keep as many paintings around you as possible. They literally talk to one another. So that means that you have 4 or 5 paintings at once, and they're just sitting around. And while I'm painting on this, out of the corner of my eye, I suddenly see what's wrong with this painting, or a way of taking it to another step. So it's always a matter of levels. There is no such thing as perfection, but there is getting that 95%, 97%, and so it's a matter of slow process. If you work on one painting, you get tired, you get bored, you can't see it anymore. If you work on 4 or 5 paintings, while I'm looking at this one, I can see that one in a fresh way. When I'm working on that one, suddenly I can see that the color on this one is wrong. So, and it goes back and forth. Yeah, I just moved the things over, and when people come into the studio, they do find this disturbing, or is that most of the time I have the images like this on the side, upside down, and so on, for exactly the reason that I described. That when I walk in, I can see this picture, and I can go, okay, balance, 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 too strong. Got to have something gold in there. And I would not see that if it was right side up for maybe 2 or 3 days. I can see it quickly this way. So the paintings are always sideways, upside down, and so on. So now that I've added my last bits of blue, again, in order to see this fresh, I flip the image upside down and reverse it. And it should be as harmonious this way as it is when you look at it and you actually see the image. When it's right side up, you're looking at figures, you're looking at a baby, you're looking at a cat. This way you're not looking at any of that, you're just looking at color and composition. So this is the best way that I can tell whether the blue is working or not working. Because if it wasn't working, it would mean that tomorrow morning the blue goes out and I start with another color. But basically the idea is there. This blue and this red and this gold are wonderful color mixes visually. They're complementary. The red to the blue, and it makes this gold color look more gold, so and more rich. So it's a very nice combination if you can get the balance right, and that's what I'm trying to do now.
So when you use the mirror, it wasn't just to check on color balance, but it was on geometry, as I understood. So you see it now in sort of right, left, north, and south.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the idea that an abstract painting and a figurative painting are different things. In other words, a painter like Willem de Kooning, who paints abstract painting, or a minimalist artist, that it's a world that's totally separate from the world that I'm painting in.
Right.
That's total nonsense. We all live in the same flat, two-dimensional world that has to do with this geometry of composition and what I would like to call silence. That a good abstract painting has exactly the same vibration as a good figurative painting, as a good minimalist painting, and so on. And that vibration has to do with almost like a cosmic hum.
Right.
And Maria and I often talk about the painting, does it hum? Meaning, does it have that harmony that when you get close to it, you just feel it and you feel good. And from that then you can look at the image, then you can look at the symbols. But the very first thing, the most important thing, is that compositionally, it's a very solid, harmonious piece. One more thing, for anyone that's just starting out oil painting, because this happened to me in the early 70s, because I had not been painting figuratively at all. I met a Spanish artist who was living below us, and I walked into his studio, and I'd never seen it before. Now, maybe it's very common today, but believe me, it's a wonderful thing. Most people that paint with watercolor, egg tempera, and they're afraid of oil paint because of this. It's a mess, and it looks messy, and you get it all over your fingers, and turpentine, and so on. Jose Manuel said the answer is very, very simple. Aluminium foil. You put it down in the morning.
I've been looking at that.
Now you have to get used to it. It's not white. So in other words, you've got a kind of gray tone underneath. But it doesn't take a lot of getting used to. And what he said was, you put this down in the morning, you mix your colors for the day. If you want to save some, put another piece of aluminium foil over the top, and it saves it. If you don't want to, fold it up.
And it will keep it humid as well.
Keep it for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So there are times at the end of the day when I take another little piece and I put it over this part, and I tear this off, and I throw it away. But put down a new piece the next morning. So that way, oil paint, which is very intimidating to someone in the beginning because it's messy and it doesn't dry quickly and so on. This way, it not only will dry in one day because the oil bleeds off it, but it's very organized, and it's not messy because at the end of the day you take it, you tear it off, and you throw it away.
I think that's a very, very useful tip. Thank you.
Talking about the silence and the stillness that he paints from. We try to live our lives like that. As active as they are on the outside, we have to have that stillness and that harmony that, as he says, in the bedrock of our lives, and also, as you can see, his paintings.